Mike Attic. You know, I was thinking about this this hurricane, this Irma, and they got you see one of these things, they got the pictures of like 50 different ways it could go, man. I mean, nobody knows the path. And how cool it is with the steps, that with the process that we're talking about, at least it gives me some say about what path my life takes, you know? Because can't nobody control which way that sumbitch is going. But with these steps, I can help control which way I'm going. And, you know, it has a lot to do with learning from past mistakes, not repeating them. It has a lot to do with, like what we're talking about, you know, watching how I'm acting. But, you know, some folks have mentioned that may only be half the story. Maybe I need to be watching out for other folks too. You know, maybe I need to be not just taking my personal inventory, you know. You say, oh, wait a minute, well, that's not what he's talking about. What are you talking about, Mike? I mean, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things I know they heard somebody say in the last meeting. I know for damn sure that they don't really mean what they're saying, nor do they even know what they're talking about. Too new to be talking like you've been working steps for a decade. So what I'm talking about is something Bill W. said about taking personal inventory. I'm going to read this to you. And the real question is, when we talk about personal inventory, is it just my personal inventory that I take every day? And I want to read this to you, and once you hear it, you'll be going, oh shit, maybe it's not. It's called Blind Trust. It's on 144 and As Bill Sees It. And it ties into what a couple of people said about sidestepping landmines and other people's motives. It says, most assuredly there can be no trust where there is no love, nor can there be real love where distrust holds its malign sway. Malign means sick. But does trust require we be blind to other people's motives and indeed to our own? Not at all. This would be folly. Most certainly we should assess the capacity for harm as well as the capacity for good in every person that we would trust. And here it is right here. Such a private inventory. Now this is Bill W., the guy that wrote the book. This ain't me. I'm just happen to be sharing this message with you. Such a private inventory can reveal the degree of trust, the confidence that we should extend in any given situation. However, this inventory, there's that word again. This inventory needs to be taken in the spirit of understanding and love. Nothing can so much bias our judgment as the negative emotion of suspicion, jealousy, or anger. And what that's saying is I need to look at things objectively and less subjectively. Because in the 12 and 12, it's talking about in the inventory, it says only until a newcomer can objectively rather than subjectively look at these things can he fearlessly rather than fearfully look at these things. And what is objectively? That's looking at the facts. Subjectively is tying my emotions and what I want to happen to something. That can taint how I see it. What it's saying is stick to the facts. And what it talks about on 141 in our big book, it talks about this is not to say that all alcoholics are honest and upright when not drinking. Of course, this isn't so. Many will see your desire to help and take advantage of your kindness. So it says that in our big book. So again, it's like these hints about, and it all goes back to Irma's path, right? I mean, it's one thing for me to just look at, okay, well, maybe I should get out of the way. But if I look at the other side, maybe I can increase my chances of being successful in this life, not by just looking at and taking my inventory, but looking at the people that I have in my life and not just blindly trusting everybody. Because if you're new, I know that you think, some of you, just because somebody's sitting in this meeting that we're all walking a spiritual path. You are mistaken. 95% don't make it. That means 95% of the people in this room ain't properly armed with no steps at all. Now you got people off the sauce with no steps. You got a real problem. Right? They're more dangerous than they were on the shit. They're liable to do anything. And especially if you're in an environment where you got a bunch of newcomers warehoused up somewhere, they're liable to stick anything under your car seat. And I'm just giving you a small example of what I'm talking about. So this is about increasing percentages, right? Like baseball players, they go practice swinging and they practice throwing the little ball or whatever, all to get one more percentage on that RBI, or one more percentage point. It's about increasing my chances of success. And I have to utilize everything I have at my disposal. Looking at my inventory, looking at the people I put in my life. NA talks about it and says it another way. It says, my thoughts need to be on my new associations. And what I find as time goes on in recovery, and Trey mentioned baby seals, it may be confusing to some of you because you've never heard the story, but what is it about? It comes from the topic of the spiritual axiom. Whenever there's something that disturbs me, there's something wrong with me. And I always like to talk about, well, if I see somebody clubbing a baby seal, you damn right I'm disturbed. But because I don't like somebody clubbing a baby seal, is there something wrong with me because I don't like somebody clubbing a baby seal? Fuck no. I like baby seals. And I don't like you because you're clubbing one. I'm not going to own the fact that because I'm disturbed and because I don't like somebody clubbing a baby seal, all of a sudden there's something deficient about me. My point is this. Taking these inventories and going on this journey in recovery sometimes shows me what I stand for. And some of the things that were acceptable when I got here, maybe I would have been okay with somebody clubbing a baby seal when I got here. But I'm not now. See, so sometimes when I'm disturbed, there may not be anything wrong with me. It may let me know what I stand for. It may let me know what I need to stay away from. That's part of that taking inventory about what people I want in my life. I used to let just anybody come over to my house early in recovery. That was stupid. I used to put my address on cards I give to guys at meetings. That was stupid. See, I learned maybe you should be a little more careful. And I'm giving you some examples and giving you another perspective. I mean, we've had such a wonderful kumbaya moment, and all these newcomers with 30 days working the 10th step like a pro, sounding just like Joe and Charlie up in here. Oh yeah, I've listened very closely. But I'm giving you another perspective about what to look for. And it's not just my inventory. Bill W. has already proved that. I read it to you. You can go check it out, as Bill sees at page 144. Don't take my word for it. Check me on everything. See, because I'm not just talking about stuff I heard at the last meeting. I'm actually talking about what I know. There's a big, big difference. And I'll tell you the big difference. We'll see who's here next year. That's the big, big difference. So, look at the inventory from both directions. Try not to get hit by Irma. And these things that we're talking about can help me get out of the way and help change the direction of that storm that's coming if I don't work the steps. I've had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, and I'll pass.
Thanks, Mike.